Hello everyone and welcome back. We are back at the farmhouse today. If you see anything covering the windows up above, that's to keep my cats out because this is sitting on my dining room table, which is not ideal, but I don't have a place in my craft room right now for the house. So today is probably not going to be super interesting because we're just going to be doing some things that really aren't fun to me, but really need to be done to the house so that I can move forward with it. So today it's going to be putting up some pieces of trim, and I'm going to be using my Gorilla Wood glue. I got a new bottle, which I'm excited about because my old bottle was getting low and pretty bad. So I'm just going to be using the Gorilla Glue and some painter's tape. I've got a bad situation going on with the camera, so I may get in the way, and I apologize for that, but it can't be helped. So let's get started. I'm not going to be doing all the trim today, just certain parts. So this trim is going to go on the wall over here on the side, and I apologize if I get in the way. I want to bring it up flush with this side. This is a 3/8 inch trim. And of course it's not wanting to stay. It's definitely not wanting to stay. And I think it's due to the fact that there's the siding, which is bumpy, and the trim is flat, and so it's just grabbing these edges that are sticking out where the siding is made to look like it overlaps the piece below it. So I think that's going to hold. And then I'm going to take a 1/2 inch strip, and I'm going to the 1/2 inch strip goes on here from what I get, and then it overlaps that piece of trim. The directions are very simple and pretty generic. I'm finding by putting on the one piece of trim, the other piece of trim is moving, but I need to get this front part of the trim on the 1/2 inch side so that it overlaps the edge of the 3/4 inch or 3/8 inch trim. So now I've got the camera right beside me. There's no other way I can do this. And I'm just going to put the tape on to keep it in place until it dries. Again, my apologies for getting in the shot or in the way. I don't think I can help that. Just a couple pieces of tape will do. And as you can see, I got impatient and already started laying some flooring because I wanted to know what it was going to look like. And I used popsicle sticks. There are some gaps, but this is an old floor. See, I moved the camera again. I'm sorry about that. This piece here, I believe, I thought it was a piece I had the one in the corner. That's the problem with not having having a good area to do things in when you have cats, because the cats get up on things, they knock things down. And that's the piece, yes, that's the piece that goes right there. So that'll be another 3/8 inch piece. And it just sits there in the corner, only to one side. I tell you what, I don't like painting long, flat, straight surfaces. It's not my thing. So, this is very tedious to me, but it also has to be done. And I think that one is gonna just sit there and dry. It seems to fit fine. Before I go too much further, I want to show you the front door. Now this is what I did, and I may have done things wrong in the way I did it, but I don't really care. I made it blue. Now this is not the same blue that I used inside the dining area. It's a little bit lighter and a little bit brighter, but I really wanted a different colored door. And I thought of red, I thought of orange because they're so typical. But I thought with the black and the gray and all that, it was going to start to look like Halloween, and this is not a Halloween house. I have cut the flooring perfectly so that I can still slip the door back in, and I stained the back of the door to match the woodwork inside the house. So I am probably going to go ahead. Actually, I don't want to glue the door in at this time because I still need to put the doorknob on. And I want to put a little hook up here so that the lady of the house can hang a wreath if she wants to for the holidays. So I'm just going to pop that back in there, just like so. We'll continue on with the trim. Now when I cut this piece out, they weren't clear, did you cut a piece here and a piece here, or did you cut a whole piece and then notch out because you have to? Well, I notched too big. See that? I notched too big. I tried to fix it. I couldn't, so I'm either going to fill it with wood filler or I'm going to leave it because I believe there is a trim that goes underneath the overhang of the upper balcony. So this piece will fit right here, and I did notch out at the bottom, but I got that one right. Hey, 1 out of 2 ain't bad, right? That one looks this horrible. Anyway, yeah. It was a fail on that, but I do believe there is trim that will go over that. And if there isn't, I'm going to put some on anyway. I'll just buy some wood. And again, I'm putting this piece on first because the other piece will overlap the edge of this one. I don't want to use a ton of glue because I don't want glue drips down my wall. I want to make sure I get enough. This to stick. And where I'm lining it up with is the bottom because it's cut exactly perfect. Oops. Alright, sit down there. And yes, sometimes I talk to my projects. Ideally, if I wasn't doing this for a video, I would glue this on and tape it, and then I would put the other piece on, which is one of these 1/2 inch long strips here, like so. And if I can get part of it to hold, I think I can do this. We'll see. Since this house will be done before the Beacon Hill, because I've chosen to make the Beacon Hill very fancy and it's taking time. I guess this will be my first actual dollhouse kit I've ever really put together. So it's been a learning process. Sometimes it's been quite the frustration, other times it's been good. But all a part of making one, I guess. Alright, now I'm just going to keep those two top parts together, and I'm going to put some painter's tape on there to hold it. I've still got some touching up to do on the paint for the house. Out here, the actual color. And I've still got some other things to do. I will be shingling the roof last because I dread it. I am amazed, honestly, that my cat has not come. I have a few cats, and like 4 of them, and I'm surprised none of them have come to help. Because they like to. Doesn't mean they're super helpful, it means they like to help. So, anyway, that's where we're going to go with that. I believe this might go to the upper... No, the upper floor ones are here. And let's see if we can move the camera up just a bit to the upper floors. As I say, these are just keeping the cats out. And yes, this looks like a war zone, no joke. Now this one, I wouldn't have had to do this, but I cut it longer and notched it out so it fit up under the overhang because I didn't want the top of the, I know there'll be shingles and stuff, but I was just making sure that the top of the trim piece didn't end up showing. And that one just goes up here in the corner, like the one below. Not that direction. Flip around there, there you go. Got glue on there, so I'm just going to wipe off the excess glue here real quick. Don't want that. And that one's just going to fit up in there nicely and stay. The last part I'm going to put on, I think, probably is going to just be this corner over here. I have so many things. I have my porch posts. I have all kinds of stuff up here. And like I said, this is not an ideal situation. But I need to find a table that I can put this on that will be big enough to hold it because this is a good-sized dollhouse. It's very deep. So you want a table that's big enough to hold it. I don't know why now. Oh, there we go. This one is a very tight fit, so I have no worries about it staying in place. I'm going to have to go around. Excuse me if I bump the tripod. This is not ideal. Okay. That should be straight. I'm still going to put the painter's tape on just to make sure everything stays lined up where it belongs. I would have had this video up sooner. I apologize. However, my back has been really messed up the past few days and I've been in a lot of pain. And I'm not sure why. This one I also cut longer to fit up underneath because I did not want it showing. That one needs to be pushed back just a little. There we go. So that this one can overlap it. Still not pushed back. I think that's better. I don't want gaps at all. Move it up just a little, and for some reason, there we go. Okay. Just needed to move that one a little too. Just a bit. I think you might need to cut it off just a little. So I'm just going to trim just a tiny bit, very tiny bit, if I can get it lined up. Like so. My glue is very tacky, so it should hold. That's better. Now we're getting the proper overlap on the side there. And again, I'm just going to use the painter's tape to hold it. I'm really excited to finish the exterior and really get going on the inside. To me, that's going to be the fun part, decorating. Alright, so those pieces of trim are on. This is obviously an extra piece. I just painted long strips black. Alright, I don't know if you can just see this corner. I have a piece of cardboard up here too to keep the cats out. And I'm probably going to go ahead and be putting the trim also on over here on this side of the house. You won't be able to see it because I'll be in the way, and I apologize. I think it'll be July since I've had this house. It'll be like 2 years. And I really want to get going on it because it's very enjoyable, mostly relaxing when I don't have a major setback. And I'm sorry I didn't show myself cutting the trim pieces or painting them, but I think you all know how to cut. You probably definitely all know how to paint. And it was just no need to much what I didn't feel. Okay, if I can get the glue to just grab just enough that it'll hold the piece till I get this one on. Going around the corner there with that piece of cardboard is not ideal. And I should move it, but I didn't. Pieces of painter's tape ready. And I'll be standing up, hopefully not moving the camera, and gluing this little piece down. Get the painter's tape on there pretty snug so that it's a nice good bond. Just taking my time, making sure everything is lined up before I put the tape on. Probably put 4 pieces of tape on this one because it's long and it has nothing. This one had the porch it could rest against. This one has nothing. Alright, there we go. Those pieces are all on. Make sure I shut this. The next thing I want to do is I'm gonna be drilling the hole and probably at least positioning the carriage light with you. Now on this light the wires come out the bottom, so I have to decide where I want the light, and then I have to allow for the wires coming out the bottom because it's going to set above that. And I'm thinking somewhere right about up in here, centered between the door and the window, would be a good spot. So I'm thinking I don't want it level because I think that would look kind of dumb, and I don't want it too low. So I think right about there will work. This is not a real big light. It's plastic. And like with these, you never know sometimes when you get them if they're going to work or not. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to peel the wire they wrap it around and then stick the end through the wire. We can do that a lot easier because I need to cut this plug off. And those are not wire cutters. And I can do it with this. So snip the plug off because I don't have the plug-in type. I am using the copper wire tape that you just stick down to the floor. So we just need to unravel. They give you a lot of wire on these. And it's very tiny, it's very easy to break. I learned a lot of lessons putting the one in under the stairs, believe me. So we're just gonna unravel the wire, or unwind it. And then I've got a drill here. Came with the circuit lighting kit, and I don't have any really fine tiny drill bits, but I find this one works pretty well for the wire. So I've already marked the hole where I'm going to put it. Now it's just the job of drilling in, and sometimes on this it works really well, and sometimes you run into a spot that is pretty tough. I've not drilled through the siding yet. This will be the first time I've done that. Probably the only. It's just, I don't know why they made this, but I'm taking it there's storage. This thing can be used for storage of bits, but this end unscrews, and it's really annoying because I don't want to lose it. And yes, I'm using two hands. I also have a Dremel. I could use that. Well, it's not a Dremel. It's a Performax brand. That's Menard's brand, but I prefer it because it's cheaper and it works just as well. And I do have that, and I could use it, but I'm hoping this won't be too hard and it won't take too long to drill through. Plus, I guess, oh yeah, we're through already. We're just about nearly so. Yep, we're through. Okay, my drill bit wants to get stuck in the wall. That's the other thing. Sometimes with the hand drill, I don't know if you can see, but I did manage to get the wire to go through the hole. So now I'm just going to be pulling it through. And they do give you a lot of wire, which is good. Our little light's going to sit right there. I don't want to pull on it too hard. I don't even know if this light works. I could test it, but I don't have the house plugged in or anything like that because that involves extension cords. So I'm going to go ahead and put it up. It comes with this sticky, it comes with a piece of padded double-sided sticky tape, the foam type, and then you just stick it to your wall. And I'm not sure it's going to stick real well. I want to try to get it so it looks even. I don't want it falling over, but sometimes with this foam tape, you only get one chance too. So it's just a bit off. That's not going to be the case here. I may have to go in with some sort of glue and glue it yet. I think it's definitely going to need some glue on there too because it's not going to hold on its own. And I'm trying to decide what would be the best glue to glue it on with. The other one stuck really well. This one, and I did not get the other one completely straight. This one is not sticking so good, and I'm thinking tacky glue in case I have to remove it. I'll be right back. I apologize if you can hear my furnace or my thermostat because we're having a blizzard. It's very cold. Its temperatures, wind chill is somewhere around probably 40 below. That's the wind chill. Actual temperature is also probably very cold. So I'm going to pull this back out a little way so I can get the glue on. And I'm just going to put some tacky glue on there to help it hold. Grabbing the wire, I'm going to carefully pull it back through. I'm going to try to get it so it looks... It's very hard with siding to get a light on it because of the raised nature of the siding. I think that looks pretty straight. Now we're just going to... Hopefully it'll stay so that it's the siding. That looks pretty good. It's never going to be perfect. No one is, and this sure isn't going to be. So I think what we're going to do is just going to try sticking a little bit of painter's tape on the bottom of it to hold it until it dries. And we'll come back when it's good and set. So I'm back and we're inside the living room. I did get the wire threaded through that hole, and as you can see I now have it here, and they do give you ample wire. I want to run this inside the door frame. That's the plan, and so I want to make sure I leave myself enough wire, and then I'm hoping I can cover this with a picture or something so it doesn't really show, because that's the bad part of this wiring. It does show. I didn't think out the dining room too well, so I'm going to have wire that shows there. I don't know what to do about it. I've heard some people say they tape it and then paint over it, but I don't know. I might try that. But I want to make sure it runs right down along the door frame so it's not visible, and then onto the floor. And I think I'm gonna just, this is a pen, but it won't show when I'm done. I just want to mark where that wire needs to cross, if I can. I've got a little bitty mark there, I think it'll do. Then I want to make sure I have plenty of wire before I cut it. And I want to leave some in case I have to repair it at a later date. So this is my strip here. I don't know if you can see it, but I've got a strip of the copper tape wire down here. And since I want extra wire, I'm going to cut this. I don't have scissors back here. I will be cutting it. And then of course you have to just barely cut the wire, strip the ends, and I will attempt to go through the wiring process. But first, let's make sure we have a good connection. This is a little tester tool that they give you, and if your connection is good, the end of the tool lights up so that you know you have a connection. So I need to turn on my lights. There, my little light back there is on. I don't believe you can probably see it, but it's on. That, however, is connected through the dining room wall. So I don't know. Let's test this strip and find out if we have connection. Isn't that little prong? It looks a little bent there. You have to really push hard sometimes. Let's see if we have a connection back here. If we do, you should see this light up. And there it goes. So you see? Sometimes it's just a fiddly little process, but it did light up, so we know that we have power. There we go. See? All right, so we have power, so that's a good thing. Turn the lights off because I don't want to mess up anything while I'm doing this. And I'm going to go get something that really totally qualifies me as, you know, any sort of person who really knows what I'm doing. But we're going to go for it. I'm going to leave myself lots of extra wire in case at some point I have to repair it. So I'm going to attempt to just cut the end, cut the wire off, and I have left myself a long length of wire. Now I've got to try to peel these ends apart and strip the little... Okay, and I'm sorry if I'm in the shot, but I've got to see what I'm doing here. It's so tiny. There's two little wires, and you have to get them apart. My other one, I almost didn't allow myself enough. I should have left the whole wire because I had no idea what I was doing. I don't know, maybe I can strip this off first. This is where you usually cut your wire if you're not real careful. You're cutting just enough so that you can take your pliers and pull it off without cutting the wire, which can be very tricky, as you can see. Aha, there we go. I've got two little wires here and I need to separate them, which can be also difficult. I don't think I can bring you any closer, but there's two little wires. And now it's easier to separate the wires that it's coming from, and you probably shouldn't do this, but I just kind of pull on them. Just my phone, somebody's posting on Facebook. Right now, I'm just trying to get these little wires separated without breaking them off. Oh, and it's proving to be rather difficult. I've got my holes drilled clear up here. I didn't make you watch me drill the holes because they're, well, it's time consuming sometimes, depends. I'm going to try to adjust the camera here, so see if I can bring you in a little closer to what I'm doing. Nope. This is very awkward. The camera is right behind me, so yeah, it's a rather awkward angle. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to keep trying to get this wire apart a little more. Yeah, some people just do it with their fingernail. They just stick it in there and it just comes apart. I am not having that luck. So tiny, it is so hard to see. There we go. I don't know if you can see that. No, you can't because I've got it zoomed in too far. Oops. I've got it split apart. Let's go up just a little more. I've got the wires split apart, which is what I wanted, and that'll give me more room to work. Now, what I use when I am doing this, it comes with two different things. You get these tiny, tiny eyelets, which, I gotta find the camera. It's what I'm using. I think you can see that, very tiny. And they give you these brads, which are so tiny. I don't know if you can even see them, even if I put them right up there. They are so tiny. I do not use the brads. They're just too small. You can't even feel them when you pick them up. And they're just, there's no way I'm gonna use those. So the first thing I'm going to do is try to stuff the eyelet into the holes I made in the floor. And they give you this. I don't know if this is the right way to do it, so please be kind because I am not an electrician and I've not wired many doll houses. They give you this little pokey pointy thing that you can put on your little hand drill. And I find that helps to get the thing in the hole. However, sometimes it sticks on this, so we'll see what happens. I'm going to go for the farthest hole first. And then I usually have a pair of very thin tweezers that I use to push it down sometimes, depending on how good my hole got drilled. And this one got drilled really well. The eyelet went right in. Sometimes if it doesn't get in there so well, I take a very thin pair of like the little needle nose pliers and then I push it down with that to get it in the hole. And I'm just going to push it down to make sure that it's in there good. And we'll see if the second one goes that good. I've had to hammer them in before. So we'll see what happens with this one. Aha, my project manager, Mr. Mew, is over here to the side of me. And I'm sorry if my hands are in the way. I'm just testing these for fit. I'm going to have to take them back out anyway. Yeah, they're going to fit nicely. Mr. Mew is now climbing into the kitchen dining room area, which he should not be doing, and he knows this. He knows he's not supposed to be in here at all. No, okay. So I've got those out. So ideally, if this all works right, I take the ends of the wires, I stick them into the holes, I'm going to try twisting them just a little bit. They're so tiny. They break so easy. Do you mind? I want you out of there, but, yeah, okay. Guess who's leaving as soon as I get done with this project? He likes to help too much. So now I have the wire stuck in the hole. I'm going to take my little eyelet again, and I'm going to put it back into the hole where the wire is. And this will create a more snug fit, but you need that for your connection. And it's in, and the wire's in, and if this works, this is going to be so flippin' easy that, yeah, it's going to be crazy. Again, I'm just going to try to carefully twist these tiny wires. And I'm going to stick them in my other hole. When you drill your holes, you want them in the center of each of the different colored strips on here. I have a pink and a purple. And you want to go into the center of each one. It doesn't seem to matter which wire goes where because I think they're, I don't know. But it doesn't seem to matter. So I'm going to put the eyelet back on the end of the tool. And then I'm going to try to get this wire into the hole. Now this one is not cooperating like the other one. So I'm going to have to try to twist it more. And that is tricky. Okay, so I'm going to attempt to feed the wire into the hole. And this will happen too. Sometimes you get a little, there's a plastic coating over this wire. And sometimes you get the plastic coating on there and then it obscures the hole. So let's see if we can get that down in there. Oh, it's being a bugger. Okay. Hopefully I've got a good twist on it now without breaking anything. Let me try this end. That might work better. Got one little wire that didn't twist. And of course, it's hanging up. So anyway, if I can get this wire into this hole, it's so hard because it's back into the dowel, so I can't really see where the end of the wire is trying to go. I know where I want it. Okay. I'm not left-handed. I think I might pull the wire apart just a little more to give me a little more maneuverability. And then I'm going to try to... I can't even tell if I'm on the hole. It's so far in there. And I've got one wire. One little tiny stupid wire. Yes, you're taking a very sloppy bath in there. You need to get out. Ash, I don't need you either. I thought they were going to bed. It's the only reason I started filming, and now they think I need their help, which I don't. I'm not going to speed this up because I want you to see just how fiddly of a little project this is. I've got one wire. It's just that one. It's driving me crazy. So, yeah. Oh, tell me I'm in. Tell me I'm in. I think I'm in. If that's the case, this hole is not. No, I'm not, because that one dumb wire just doesn't want to twist. And this may be where the wire ends up breaking, which it just did. And I'm going to have to do it again. So, now I've got the one wire securely in there. Now I've got to try to cut off plastic without dislodging everything. Alright, there's my little wires again. Hopefully I didn't cut any of them off, but that seems pretty thin. I think I did. See, this is why I say leave yourself plenty of extra wire, because if you don't, you're going to end up with a problem like I just had, where I just cut off most of the wires, which will not give you a connection. Lots of posting today, obviously. Okay, I've got my wires back. I haven't dislodged the other one. Sorry about the sound of the pliers dropping, but try to get this twisted up now without breaking it. Try to get it fed into the hole. Like I said, it'd be so much easier if I could see what I was doing. The other one was worse because I was doing it kind of around a corner. I was doing it through that access bay, as I call it, and that was not working very well. I'm hoping I don't break wires again. I would like to just get them in there this time. That'd be amazing. Sometimes also you have to end up drilling your hole out again, or drilling it deeper or something. Still fiddling with this, and if I get this all hooked up and that light doesn't come on, I'm gonna be so not happy. I'm just trying to get those ends twisted because they'll grab right onto the edge of that hole I made and not go in. So let's see if we can get them in this time. You want to leave enough that they go down in, and I'm going to pull it out while I was grabbing that thing. And sometimes I think it'd be handy to have about 6 hands when you're doing this. And then you drop the eyelet. See, this is all the fun of it. Believe me, it's not fun. I admire people who can wire a dollhouse. Got to get that wire in there. And again, I'm just having trouble with the ends. So we're going to try it with this hand. I am sorry you cannot see what I'm doing very well. It is so hard to see where that hole is exactly and get it all lined up. Okay, I think the wire is in the hole. Oh, it was in the hole. Oh my, I think it's a little bit too long too. I'm going to try to snip just the end of it. And of course that doesn't want to snip off of there now that I want it to. I think we got it. There's going to be very little wire sticking out. But as long as I can make contact with the sides of the eyelet, it should be good. Oh, there's one wire again. Oh my. Okay. It's got to go in there, right? I knew we were in trouble when that first one just slipped right in. Like I said, part of it's that plastic because it will catch on the wire, but you don't want to pull it off. Okay, wire is in. I'm going to try to get the eyelet in on top of it. Tweezers. I really need to push that into the hole, and in this case, the wire is taking up space in there, so I need to get something stronger to push it down into the floor, which I just remove that. Moment of truth, guys, in just a second here. Do I still have a good connection? You are getting out. I hate to tell you. Oh, I don't have it turned on. Okay, that light's on, but that's not on the same circuit. Yep. All right, so this means we should have power to our outside light. So I'm going to turn the camera off and then we'll be right back. Truth, here we are on the outside of the house. And there's our little carriage lamp all lit up. Yes, I am so super excited. It wasn't fun, but it looks so cool to see the little light on. So yeah, we did it. All right. So there's the front of the house. The tape has been mostly removed. The trim is up. The light is in. And it works. So, yes. Anyway, I want to thank you all for joining me and putting up with my video where I struggled with the light. It's not always that bad. I mean, you may do it, you may have perfect success the first time. Me, usually something goes wrong. Anyway, we got it in, and it lights up, and I am very, very happy. And I forgot to mention it in the beginning of the video, but I want to thank all of you for joining me, and I want to welcome my new subscribers as well as welcome the rest of you back. If you're someone who's just stopping by the channel and you like what you see, please hit like and subscribe. It really helps the channel out. Thank you so much again. Everybody in the upper Midwest, stay warm. Sorry about the shaky cam. Bye-bye.